Hey guys, this is Earpugs, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about arena comps for TBC. One thing that I'm going to be focusing on more here is why is an arena comp good? For example, everybody knows that in TBC, Rogue Mage Priest is very good and Warrior Lock Druid is very good, but nobody really talks about why are those comps strong and what makes them so good. So rather than just telling you, oh, this is the meta, you need to play this because it's strong, I'm going to tell you why it's the meta and what makes it strong, therefore you can choose what comp to play. Generally, in World of Warcraft Arena, there is two main types of comps for 3v3. There is a comp that relies heavily on damage with minimal CC, and a comp that relies heavily on CC with usually bursty damage, requiring cooldowns to get a kill. If you are running a damage heavy composition, what is often referred to as a cleave, you're going to want to have an MS effect or a Mortal Strike effect. Mortal Strike will reduce the target's healing received by 50%, along with wound poison from a rogue and aimed shot from a hunter. All of these are often referred to as an MS effect, and it's arguably the most detrimental debuff you can put on somebody because the healer literally has to heal twice what they normally would have done with one heal. This helps immensely if you're a cleave because you're relying more on your damage than actually controlling the healer to get a kill. Keep in mind that MS will not stack with each other, so Mortal Strike will not stack with Wound Poison, and Wound Poison won't stack with Aim Shot, etc. So you don't actually gain anything out of hitting somebody with two MSs. Therefore, making an optimal cleave, arguably, you would want to have one MS effect and one damage heavy class. For example, a Warrior and a Enhancement Shaman, which is referred to as Turbo Cleave. It is incredibly strong because on top of having an MS effect and a lot of damage, the Enhancement Shaman can also purge the target clean, removing all healing over time effects or previous buffs that they would have had. The Shaman also has what's called Wind Fury Totem, which gives you a 20% chance of giving you an extra auto attack with some additional attack power. Now, that doesn't sound that strong, but for Arms Warriors, it's actually ridiculous because they rely very, very heavily on their auto attacks, and this gives them extra auto attacks. So it's like if you were playing a caster, they can cast two Frostbolts at once, for example. The types of healers that you want to run with a cleave, generally speaking, are offensive ones. So, like a Disc Priest because they can dispel magic on the other team, or a Resto Shaman because they have Purge and Wind Fury Totem. You could also do a Holy Pally because they have freedom and they can also dispel you out of magical effects, along with Divine Shield, which makes them invulnerable and immune to CC, allowing them to run with you as you get a kill. However, you don't really want to stack the same class, so if you were running Turbo Cleave, you wouldn't really want to run a Resto Shaman just because you'd be overlapping a lot of stuff. So now that I've explained a little bit about cleaves, the next kind of comp I want to talk about is a CC heavy comp, and there is literally dozens and dozens and dozens of these comps in all different forms and flavors. The biggest thing that you need to pay attention to if you're running a very CC heavy comp is what DRs with what. If you don't know what a DR is, it's diminishing return. I've already made a video on that. I'll include it in the link below. And this is actually so important because DRs truly mean the difference between winning and losing. If you ran two of the same class, for example, double mage, it's very hard to get a significant CC chain on somebody because all you would really have is polymorph and counterspell along with some novas, and all three of those would DR with each other. Therefore, you would not be able to CC somebody for a long time. If you swapped out the second mage with a warlock, for example, they have an ability called Fear, and that does not DR with anything that a mage has, giving you the opportunity to polymorph somebody for 10 seconds, then 5 seconds, then 2.5 into a 10-second Fear, 5-second Fear, and 2.5 Fear, which comes out to about 30 seconds of not being able to play. Keep in mind, the mage also has Counterspell, and the lock also has his kick from his pet, and that doesn't even include a healer like a druid cycloning, so you can see how absolutely ridiculous CC chains can get. Another thing that you need to watch out for is something called overlapping. If you polymorph and fear a target at the same time, it will do both of the CCs and they will just stack on top of each other and have no benefit because one would have already worked and the other one is now useless. So now you can kind of start to see the differences between a cleave and a CC heavy comp. But what if you took a comp that has an MS effect and then added a lot of CC? Well, then you would have a really, really strong comp, and this is actually what the majority of high level comps consist of. Here is a picture from Ninja Breadman off of Reddit, so big thanks to him for making this. This does not by any means cover every comp that's possible at high rating, because there is tons that are not listed here. And honestly, you really couldn't make a picture like that because it would just be gigantic due to the overwhelming complexity of Arena and how many different variants of a comp you could run. But it's a great snapshot of what you're going to see in 3v3 Arena. You'll also notice that none of these comps that are listed overlap an MS effect. That's because generally speaking, it's kind of a waste to run with two classes that both have MS because you could have picked up one that either has more CC or more damage or more utility, etc. To generalize a lot about this image and other comps, all of these work hand in hand because they either have an MS effect or a heavy amount of CC along with nothing that really DRs. So that's the combination that you're really looking to put together in a comp. You want either somebody with an MS effect and then big damage or big CC, or you need two classes that both have a lot of CC that don't overlap with each other. WoW Arena is so complex and there is just too many comps to run that I could cover. So I just wanted to give you the what makes a comp good and what makes a comp bad formula. That way you can just choose with your own class, okay, I'm going to do XYZ and you know why it's strong or why it's weak and its pros and cons. That's the end of this video, guys. I hope it was helpful in any way. I tried to make it as dense as possible. If this did help you, the biggest thank you can give to me is by liking and subscribing. So thanks very much, guys. I really appreciate the support, and I'll see you in the next video.